Ziya Selcuk. He is Turkey's Minister of National Education, and he joins us now from Ankara. Mr. Minister, great to have you on the show. I know your time is valuable, but earlier today you rang the bell in opening up a new, a very different educational model for Turkey. Tell us how it's going.
Thank you. It's going too well, and we got very good feedbacks from children and parents about the distance courses on TRT EBA channels. You said 6 channels. As you know, we have created these courses in a very short time, in a 1 week. We have 3 channels actually, but there are 3 channels, etc. Channel for elementary, channel for lower secondary, and channel for upper secondary students.
Okay.
So I really appreciate TRT staff and teachers who work too hard. Their efforts is very amazing. Thank you for all.
Well, actually, I feel proud to be working for an organization that actually provides this service to the millions of students out there. I'd like to learn a little bit more about this distance learning model for the students. Does it cover everybody from kindergarten all the way up to university? I know that you mentioned some lower elementary, upper elementary, but how many students does it cover? What grades does it cover?
Actually, it's from elementary to upper secondary because of the educational system in Turkey. And of course, we have some contents about materials for preschool children as well. I recently shared a kindergarten packs for families on my Instagram and Twitter account. About universities, actually we don't prepare distance learning content for university students. As I said, because of the Turkish educational system, they create their online courses themselves.
How prepared is your ministry in terms of the content that you would deliver to the students? What I'm basically asking you is, how long are you planning for the system to last?
Actually, we say from the virus threat, it will last, public health is coming first for our political strategies. So when the Science Council, there is a council in Turkey, Science Council of the Health Ministry says, okay, we have saved from the threat, then we are going to open our schools up. We are talking about the virus crossing the borders of countries, so our governments are following the local and global variables to set public policy. The decision of opening our schools up depends not just on local situation, also on global situation.
Okay, I mean, I think you would agree, Mr. Minister, that with every project, you come out of it with important takeaways. At the end of all this, do you sort of see implementing this current distance education model and sort of implement or incorporating into the traditional one that your ministry has been following for years now?
Yeah, as I told, there is a big problem in the world, distance learning, because about 18 million students, there are 18 million students in Turkey. It's a big challenge for us. And we got very good feedbacks from parents and children. So this distance learning model will be useful for students when they back to school. This is a new situation for all of them, for children, for parents, and for our ministry. Maybe they could get some academic credits, certificates by following these distance courses. Hard times create good opportunities for us, and we are trying to develop our solutions.
Okay.
In these days, we can solve a new model for the process.
Mr. Minister, if you could sort of enlighten our viewers as to what type of classes these students are getting. Could you give a little bit more detail into what type of classes?
There are some virtual classes in our system, and there are some TV channels. That's why we have a mixed model about distance learning.
So the students can actually access at a particular time, turn on their television sets to the various television channels and follow these classes that are given to everybody. And if they want to follow up, they can go onto the internet and actually follow up. But I'm particularly interested in are they Turkish classes? Are they science classes? Are they?
There are some classes for every grade. For instance, second grade, fourth grade, like these. They are following their contents. For example, there is a science period, there is a math period, there is a Turkish class, and there are some hours for all of them. They know the table, they know the schedule, they are following the schedule, and when it comes their period or their hour, they are following their TV productions.
Minister Selcuk, I also want to ask you, how do students, do they have homework? How do they submit their homework? And what happens with testing?
There is no testing because this is facilitating the process. This is a not testing project. This is a new model for the education, distance education for us. But we are assigning some duties for children, and they are doing homework, and the teachers can control students' homeworks from EBA digital platform.
Okay. Will students be getting a grade, any type of grade or performance evaluation at the end of this period?
There is no testing end of the period, but end of the period, we will do some new classes for them, face-to-face lessons, classes, and we are thinking about backward design. At the end of the process, what we'll expect for the children. That's why this is it needs a standards for all of children, and we are doing like these things.
What's interesting to me is that the majority of the content that's passed on to children is delivered through television and does not rely on the internet, because that's really important, because when you have as we said earlier on in the program, nearly 1 billion people around the world, either at home through mandatory quarantines or self-isolation. There is a huge stress on the world's connectivity or internet system. So it's good that this is delivered through alternative means, in this case, through airwaves, through television, through the state broadcaster.
Yeah, that's why this is a TV-based system. Otherwise, we cannot process the operations because millions of children cannot online at the same time in all courses or classes. But we can broadcast these classes by TV easily. There is no problem for us.
Minister Ziya Selcuk, thank you very much for all that important information. I wish I was a student during this time. It's an exciting time. Thank you very much and good luck with everything.